How do you make your wife crave and desire you again without even talking about it? Have you ever found yourself wondering, why doesn't my wife look at me like she used to? She used to flirt, reach for your hand, come up and kiss you for no reason. And now it's like you're sort of platonic roommates. The spark's gone, the entire vibe is off, and sex even feels more like an obligation than her actually feeling desire for you. But what if I told you that it's not because she stopped loving you? It's because something called the masculine switch got flipped. And in this video, I'm gonna show you why so many good husbands unknowingly slip into the feminine role and how that kills her sexual attraction. I'm gonna show you the invisible signals that make her stop seeing you as a man she respects and as a man she wants to be intimate with. And then I'm gonna go over the 6 critical switches that reignite her desire and respect without therapy, without gifts, without even talking about it with her. And why, when you flip this switch, she starts craving you again and it feels effortless. My name is Bobby Rio, and I've spent the last 18 years coaching men on what I call the invisible game. These are the unspoken rules that decide whether a woman feels desire or indifference towards you. At first, it was mostly single guys, very frustrated, rejected, guys always chasing. But over time, those same guys got married, and suddenly the problem wasn't, how do I get her interested? It was, why doesn't my wife look at me like she used to? Why does everything feel flat, disconnected, transactional? And you start doing this like weird mental math where it's like, okay, it's been like 6 weeks, but she did rub my back for 6 seconds last Tuesday. Does that count as foreplay? If you even try to initiate, a lot of these guys say it's like you're asking her to like fix the garbage disposal. She shuts down, she rolls over, she says, I'm tired. And at this point, if you do get sex, it feels more like jury duty than actual passion. Well, here's something that I gotta tell you. No man should ever have to beg for sex from his wife. And if you're in that position, it means a switch got turned off. But the good news is you can turn that switch back on. I spent years digging into that question in my own life and with my thousands of clients. And what I found is this. She didn't stop loving you. She didn't stop wanting connection. She just stopped feeling you as a man. Because somewhere along the way, that masculine switch got flipped. And right now, without even realizing it, you're stuck in the feminine role. See, every relationship runs on polarity. There's the masculine and then there's the feminine. And like magnets, the second that polarity disappears, so does the spark. And guess what? Most guys, good guys, unknowingly slip into this feminine role. You become the one adjusting to her energy. You're trying to like talk it out with her. I've had clients who are like the ones begging their wife to go to therapy or asking their wife like, can't we just talk about this? And when you sense her stress, you tiptoe around her moods. You're waiting for signs that she's in the mood before you even flirt with her. You're so scared of rejection by your own wife. You're asking if it's okay before you even make a move. And the moment that she senses all of this, it's over. She's no longer responding to you as a man anymore. She's managing you like a child. And when she does this, her attraction dies. It dies quietly, but it dies. And most guys don't even realize it's happening. They think their wife just stopped being into them. But what really happened is she started testing you, not consciously. This testing is something that goes on in the dating world. It's something that I've taught guys who are out there meeting new women, but what you don't realize is it continues. Women have this unconscious way of testing men, and they don't do it maliciously. It's biological. A woman's feminine nervous system is always scanning for strength. Not loud, aggressive strength, but masculine containment. She's watching. How do you react when she's snippy? When she criticizes your decision? Do you stay grounded and lead her out of that? Or do you get pulled in? Do you start explaining yourself, arguing, apologizing, asking are you mad at me? Like a freaking lost intern on a shitty sitcom, just begging boss's approval. That's what flips the polarity. And once she feels like she's managing you instead of being led by you, the physical spark dies. Masculinity, though, it isn't about being louder or more dominant, although there is an element of dominance that women crave. And a lot of times when a guy gets used to being sexually rejected by his own wife, he becomes afraid to express that dominance in the bedroom with her. But it's about more than that. It's about being autonomous. It's about being quietly unshaken. It's about leading with your energy and not reacting to hers. She's emotional, so what? You stay centered. She's moody, you don't get sucked into her mood. You playfully tease her out of it. She throws a jab, you smile, hold eye contact and say, "You're cute when you're trying to challenge me." That's leadership. That's the frame she wants to surrender to. Even if she never would tell you this out loud. In fact, if she has to tell you this, it loses all its power. This is why I'm telling you this. A guy emailed me after watching one of my trainings, and he said that he was pumping gas recently, and he saw a woman wrap her arms around a guy, just giggling on his shoulder. And just that tiny moment, right? It was just a tiny moment of this woman just so affectionate with a man. And my client, he goes back into his car and he just starts sobbing. Why? Because he hadn't been touched like that in years. And he didn't want another woman. He wanted his wife to look at him like that, to be affectionate with him, to like have that playful energy with him. So here's what I told him. Stop trying to fix it by being sweeter. Stop trying to talk her back into attraction. Stop hinting. Stop passively aggressively trying to guilt her into it. Stop asking. Stop hoping. You have to flip the masculine switch. You start by flipping these switches, and I'm going to go through them right now. So switch number one is stop asking for permission. Next time you feel the urge to say, "Want to do something later?" or "Where do you feel like going?" or "What are you in the mood for?" Catch yourself. Don't ask, lead. Say, "We're gonna go for drinks this Friday. You're overdue for some fun." Why it works? Because masculine energy doesn't seek a green light. It gives direction, it leads. That means you lead the vibe, you stay grounded. Even if she's moody, you flirt without permission. You make decisions, you don't make suggestions. She says, "Should we invite Sarah and Mike over next weekend?" Old you might have said, "Yeah, if you want to." New you says, "Nah, we're overdue for a weekend without anyone. I want you to myself. There's this rooftop bar that I want to take you to." You didn't ask, you decided, you created containment. And the feminine loves being contained by a grounded masculine man. Okay, so here's the next one. Switch number two, break predictable patterns. She already knows your Tuesday night routine. Surprise her, come home and say, "Pack a bag, we're getting out of here." Even if it's just a cheap hotel down the street with room service and sex, she doesn't need luxury, she needs mystery. Which brings us to switch number three. No more date nights. This is gonna surprise some of you who are always saying, I have friends, I have clients who are like, "I gotta start planning more date nights. Me and my wife need to have date nights." And I go, my wife and I have amazing sex life. We never call it a date night. We literally just hang out, we go out. It's not like, let's plan a date night, right? You gotta kill this idea right now. Date night is not the fix. In fact, date night has become code for we're forcing this. It's Wednesday, put on your nice jeans, and she grabs like a dress and you coupons to Chili's, and you both stare at each other across the table like, okay, let's try to be romantic now. And guess what? There's zero tension, zero spark, zero mystery. Why? Because it doesn't feel like a date. It feels like an obligation, like something on your calendar you have to do, a chore that you agreed to do because your therapist said so. But you know what? You know what works? Spontaneity, surprise, flirting with her like you're dating again. Instead of date night, just try this. Walk in the house and say, "You and me tonight, put on something hot, I'm stealing you away, we're having fun tonight." Or grab her on a random Tuesday and say, "Let's get in the car, I wanna take you all to myself for a couple hours." It's all about the energy. It's all about you leading her surrendering to you, not you kind of coming up with a joint, schedule of when you're gonna have sex or when you're gonna hang out. Because when it feels like you're trying to seduce her, right? Like back when you guys were dating, back when she was your girlfriend, you were trying to seduce her. And when it feels like you're trying to seduce her, not you're trying to work on the relationship, that's when it starts to feel good for her. That's when she starts to feel like a woman again. And that's when everything changes. So switch number four is flirt without needing anything back. Don't wait until she's affectionate to flirt. Flirt when she's cranky. Flirt when she's folding laundry. That flips her back into the feminine mode. Make her remember that she's wanted, not because she earned it, but because you're a man who makes moves. Here's what you have to understand. This will not always go the way you hope. I can remember a few years back, and I'm feeling good, right? I'm in one of those rare husband moods where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna flirt with my wife. Just hit her with that old school charm. And she's in the kitchen, she's like doing dishes, and she's like wearing an oversized hoodie from like 2006, just, peak sexiness, right? But I come up behind her and I'm real smooth. I slide my hands around her waist and I whisper in her ear like, you look good when you hot, angry wash the dishes, or something ridiculous like that. Now in my head though, she's supposed to giggle, lean back into me. We're supposed to make out like a couple of college students, maybe some passionate kitchen floor sex or something. But instead she goes, "Can you not? I'm trying to finish this." And I immediately go into full angry husband mode. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I try one time to be romantic, and I guess screw this then, screw that," and I'm just I'm storming off like a little toddler, right? And that right there, that's the test. That's the moment that we all fail, because flirting isn't about her giving you something right away. It's about planting the seed. It's about reminding her that she's wanted, even when she's being cranky or busy or not in the mood. You don't flirt because you want a cookie. You flirt because that's who you are. You're an attractive man. And showing her that you know how to flirt also shows her that you probably know how to flirt with other women, and she kind of has to be reminded of that from time to time, right? Because she will take you for granted if she thinks that like you don't have the game anymore to get other women. On the other hand, a man who makes moves, a man who leads the vibe, is a man she finds herself going, "Oh shit, now I remember why I wanted this guy so bad." When you do it without needing something back, right? When you flirt without needing something back, that's when she starts chasing you again. Switch number 5 is rebuild sexual tension without trying to get sex. Most guys are so desperate to fix the sex that they do the one thing that kills it. They beg for it, they chase it, they get pouty about it. They initiate with expectation, or they try to negotiate sex like it's a favor she owes you. Or they get passive and hope she makes the move. They hint, they touch her leg and she doesn't respond, and then they roll over all angry, right? But here's the truth. Women don't crave sex. They crave the tension that leads to the sex. So instead of lunging for it, play with her. Walk by her, graze her lower back. Hold eye contact for a second too long. Lean in close, whisper something flirty, then pull away. Create longing, give her just enough to stir that fire again, and then walk off like you didn't even notice what you just did to her. She doesn't want duty sex, she wants to feel wanted again, and that starts with you building this underlying pressure, right? It doesn't start with the release. You've got to build the anticipation, the desire before the release. For men, desire is like a light switch. She looks good, she's in her panties, whatever, boom, you're ready. It's visual, it's instant. But for women, desire isn't a switch, it's a slow burn. It's the buildup that turns her on. It's that mental foreplay of what's going on here. Like, oh, he just touched me, but he walked away. What did he want? What's going on? It's the teasing, it's that energy, it's that unspoken tension. It's that moment when your hand lingers, when your eyes hold hers for just a second longer than normal, when she feels that electricity, right? When she feels that you want her, but you're not rushing it. That's what makes her crave you. It's not about the act itself. It's about the anticipation of it, the story that builds in her body before anything happens. And if you try to skip straight to the ending, she feels nothing. Now, some guys go, "Well, I like to kiss her and I like foreplay and I'll eat her out," or whatever, but that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about that electricity of like walking by her, looking at her, and not saying anything, but giving her that look like you're checking her out, right? Just like letting her feel desired by you again. And you can't skip that. If you try to skip it, she doesn't feel enough passion. It's like fast forwarding through the best part of the movie and then wondering why the ending sucked. But if you play with her, if you lead the vibe slowly and confidently and unapologetically, she starts to feel like a woman again, not a roommate, not your mom, not your manager. A woman being desired by a man who knows exactly what he's doing. So switch number 6 is let her feel your desire. We kind of talked about this, but I want to go a little bit more into it, because one of the big mistakes that men make in a long-term relationship is they only express desire when they want something. She feels nothing from you all week, and then the lights go out and suddenly you're like reaching for her like a fucking drunken raccoon looking for leftovers. But here's what most guys don't understand. You might want to write that down, because this is really a light bulb moment in terms of what turns a woman on. The desire of the woman is for the desire of the man. Not needy desire, not transactional desire, but that steady masculine flame that says, I want you. Not because I need release, not because I want to get a load off, but because you're mine. It means letting her feel your desire even when there's no agenda. She's annoyed at you, pull her in close and whisper, you're so sexy when you're mad. She walks across the room, let her catch you watching her, right? Like you still can't believe how fucking lucky you are to touch her. Give her that slight smirk, that low unspoken energy that says, you still do it for me and I don't hide it, right? Because when your desire becomes part of your presence, not just your horniness, right? There's a difference between the guy who's like not paying attention to his wife all week and then he's got an erection and now he's like all of a sudden like a fucking little kid trying to come on to her. That's not what she wants, right? She wants a man who just desires her in general. She wants to feel chosen, not just like she doesn't want to be a vessel for your erection. She wants to feel chosen and claimed, not pressured for sex. And that's when her femininity melts back into the moment. Here's the truth nobody tells you. She doesn't get to choose whether she desires you. Her desire isn't logical, it's primal, it's wired into her nervous system. And right now your vibe is shutting it off. But when you reclaim your edge, when you show up like a man again, when you stop seeking her approval and lead her emotionally, her body notices, her eyes soften, her tone changes. She doesn't even realize it's happening, she just feels it. One of my clients tried something that I call the repolarization move. And he was being treated like a nice husband pet by his wife, right? So I told him this, next time you walk into the room and she's tense, instead of asking what's wrong, try this. Just look at her and stay with a calm smirk. You're cute when you're trying to act mad. Then walk past her like you've already decided the vibe is good again. You don't argue, you don't engage, you don't get sucked into whatever. Women are like an emotional shitstorm, right? That's just, their emotions swing wildly, right? And we're not used to that because men are kind of more even keeled. And a lot of times we get sucked into her wild mood swings when really as a man, she wants you to balance that out. She wants you to like be the rock that like leads her out of that mood that she's in and not get sucked into it himself. And when my client did this, that night, for the first time in months, she crawls up next to him in bed. Why? Because he stopped tiptoeing and he started leading the vibe. And suddenly she's the one chasing you, touching you, teasing you, bragging about you to her friends again. Well, one more thing, and it's important. You can't do this just to get laid. I know I keep saying that, but if it's transactional, she will feel it. Women are biologically wired to sense intent. And the second she senses that you're only turning on your masculine charm or masculine energy as a tactic to get sex, the whole thing collapses. This can't be something that you do just to flip a switch in her. It has to be something that you flip in yourself. And here's a byproduct of that, right? A lot of times when you're married or as you get older, you lose a little bit of your edge, right? I call my community of the guys that I coach, we have a community, and I call it the untamed man, because what happens to a lot of us when we're married or just, in a job or anything is that we become tame and we forget what it's like to be this untamed man. Well, my challenge to you is to flip that switch in yourself, to decide now, like, this is who I am. A man who leads, a man who's grounded, a man who creates tension, not chases comfort. And yeah, at first, your wife might not react. She might even act colder at first. Don't fold. Don't get bitter and say, see, nothing works. Because in that moment, she's testing you again. She's wondering, is this real? Or is this just another tactic to get me naked? But if you stay consistent, if you stay grounded, something magical happens. Her wall, it starts to drop. Her feminine starts to reawaken, and suddenly you're not just married again, you have a girlfriend again. Someone to flirt with, tease, seduce, someone who looks at you like she used to because you're showing up like you used to. But you're doing it with even more edge, more calm, more fun. And that's the real payoff. Not just the sex, not just the validation, but getting to feel that electric polarity again in your own damn marriage. Because you're gonna be with this woman for a while. You may as well both enjoy this. Now, if this video is resonating with you, I put together a free 7-day Rebuild the Spark challenge specifically for married men. Here's how it works. Each day, I'll send you a short 5-minute video and one simple exercise to do that day with your wife. will deliver it. It'll send it right to your email. You can watch the 5-minute video and you have a task for the day. Everything in this is designed to help flip that polarity back, to reawaken your wife's desire and respect, because for women, what you have to understand is desire and respect are synonymous. She cannot desire you if she doesn't respect you. And also she doesn't respect you if she feels no strong desire for you. And this is what makes her feel that masculine presence again. These are all real field-tested moves. It's not therapy. You're not gonna have to talk to her, because here's the truth. You can't talk your way back into sexual attraction. It doesn't happen. These are just small shifts that spark big change. It's free, it's private, and it takes about 5 minutes a day. So I put a link in the description. Just click the link and you can get day 1 immediately, because the moment you start showing up differently, she does too. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button so that other guys can find it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And most importantly, as I begin to cover more challenges that come up in marriage, leave me a comment below letting me know what topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. And again, there's a link in the description below to take part in my 7-day Rebuild the Spark Challenge.